How you doing, everybody? This is Russ Hodges along with Lon Simmons. We live this game of baseball every day, 365 days a year. But sometimes we need a reminder. Now tell me, Lon, did the Giants really win the pennant in the year 1962?
Well, I think maybe we can let the Giants tell that story, Russ, but we have to go all the way back to April 10th at Candlestick Park in the first inning as the Braves and the Giants are playing.
And center fielder Willie Mays steps up to the plate now. And the fans here today are seeing something they've never seen. Willie is wearing a batter's helmet this year. In previous years, he always wore the cap with the plastic inner lining. But at the request of manager Alvin Dark, he went for the full helmet. He wears it right over his baseball cap. Spahn throws to the Giant center fielder. There's a swing and a long drive to deep left center field, and you can tell it, bye-bye, baby! What a way to start off a season. One pitch, one home run.
Well, that was sort of an indication, Russ, of how things were going to start, but it wasn't all offense as far as the Giants were concerned. There was some defense involved, too, so all we have to do is go to the ninth inning of that first game and listen.
Joe Torre's the batter, and he takes a called strike over the outside. Tommy Aaron at second base. Frank Bowling, 6-0. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground at Davenport at third. Over to second for one. Back to first. What a double play! They don't call him the kid with the golden glove for nothing. That started out to be a base hit. A hard smash to Davenport's left. That is the only time today that Marichal has needed something extra in the way of support, and he really got it there. And then, still in April at Candlestick Park, after Mays hit a home run in the sixth off O'Toole, the Giants led 4-1 in Billy Pierce's first game. Then, in the seventh, Pagan was on with 2 out when Cepeda came to bat.
O'Toole with a new baseball, getting the sign. Stretches, Pagan leads at first. Here's the pitch, Pagan going again, and there's a long drive to left field, and you can tell that one goodbye. Orlando Cepeda gets his first home run of the year, a line drive over the left field fence, and the Giants now lead it by a score of 6-1.
April 14th, Candlestick Park against the Cincinnati Reds. Score tied in the third inning, 4-4 with 1 out, back-to-back home runs.
One down, bases empty, 4-4 ball game, bottom of the third. Next pitch to Cepeda. There's one, you can tell that goodbye, that's way out of here. Way back into the seats in left field as Cepeda gets his second home run. Orlando Cepeda really cracked one about 5 or 6 rows deep in the left field seats. He just waited on that pitch and mashed it. So the Giants are back out in front now, 5-4.
And then Philippe Alou got into the act.
Ellis ready for the 1-0 pitch. Slow curve, and that one's hit deep to left field. Going back at post, and tell it goodbye. Philippe Alou gets his first home run of the season as he timed a slow curve, waited on it, hit it over the left field fence.
Then in the first game with the Dodgers at Candlestick Park, Big Stan Williams pitching for Los Angeles, and Philippe Alou is up at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 down, bottom of the second. Roseborough's target. Williams' curveball is hit to deep center field. Far back for it is fairly. Far back, far back. Tell it, bye-bye, baby. After a quick survey here in the radio booth, that is the farthest we have seen a ball hit to center field. It went into the extreme corner of the concrete bleachers. Well, you've seen where Del Courtney's band sits. Well, it even went to the right of that. Had to go 430 feet. That was in the second inning. Then in the third inning, Jimmy Davenport. Williams throws 1-1. Davenport hits a long high drive to deep left field. Moon is clear back and tell it, bye-bye, baby. And more home runs to come. Willie Mays. Young left-hander Willard Hunter pitches to Willie Mays. There's a long high drive to deep left center field, and you can tell it, bye-bye, baby.
3 home runs in consecutive innings by the Giants, but now let's go on the road and back to Pittsburgh at Forbes Field, where the Giants are involved in a big Donnybrook.
Bailey has had 1 out of 2. 2 down, top of the 6th, Bob Friend ready. The pitch. Over Bailey's head and all the way back to the screen, and Bailey turns to yell something out to Bob Friend, and we might have a little fun. Here come all the Giants out right now. And now Leppert grabs up Bailey around the neck, and we've got a real good one going. They got a real good one going. Bob Friend tries to throw a punch at Bailey. That's Leppert. Leppert jumped on Bailey when Bailey's back was turned. Bob Friend, as you recall, hit Jack Sanford in the hand 2 seasons ago and sidelined him for 6 weeks. And that was a creaser if ever you've thrown one. It appears that they'd have to put everybody out of the game, so nobody's going to get thrown out. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and belted a long way to deep right field, and that ball is going back. You can tell it. Bye-bye, baby. Ed Bailey, after being low-bridged, hits his 5th home run of the season. Way back into the lower deck of the right field stands. And the Giants lead 5-2.
Well, that fight may have inspired the Giants. At least it inspired Don Larson, who came on in the 6th inning with one of the finest relief jobs of the year. 10 pitches and 3 outs against the Pirates.
So there are 2 men down, and Roberto Clemente, who has been out with a virus out of the starting lineup tonight, is coming into pinch hit, and they really love this guy here in Pittsburgh. And they should. He delivers great ball for them. Now ready for the pitch by Larson. He throws to Clemente. Strike called, a fastball on the inside corner. Count is 0-1. The stretch by Larson. The pitch to Clemente. Swung on and missed. Strike 2, a curveball. Count is 0-2. Stu Miller loosens for the Giants along with Dick LeMay. 2 on, 2 down, 2 strikes on the batter. The Giants leading 5-2 in the bottom of the 6th. As Larson has the sign from Bailey, who crouches low and outside. There's the pitch. He strikes him out swinging. Larson struck out the side on 10 pitch balls. 3 in a row to Leppert, 3 out of 4 to Mazeroski, and 3 out of 3 to pinch hitter Bob Clemente. So the pitchers, the regulars doing well, but until April 27th at Candlestick Park, not a single pinch hit for any one of the Giants who came off the bench to swing in the pinch. April 27th, Willie McCovey steps up with Davenport on at second base, and the Giants down by 2 runs.
There's the stretch now as Davenport leads. The 1-1 pitch. A long drive to deep right field. That one is going back there, and tell it goodbye. Willie McCovey becomes the first Giant pinch hitter to deliver a hit, and it was a big one, a 2-run homer, and the Giants are back in it 4-4.
Well, you sometimes have to get runs in bunches. The Giants could do that, as against the Cubs at Candlestick Park, Willie Mays got a hold of a big one.
Davenport, Marichal, and Chuck Hiller all ready to head for the barn if Mays can connect. A 2-0 count as Larry's into the windup. The pitch. Mays sends a long high drive to deep left field. Williams is going far back, far back. Hill it, bye, baby, a grand slam.
Well, Russ, you have to have the offense and the defense. And if you remember back to May 2nd at Candlestick Park against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the score tied 2-2 in the 6th, and Willie Mays at bat.
Francis winding to throw to Willie. Long high drive to deep left field. Tell it, bye, baby.
Well, that was the bye-bye baby, all right, Russ. But Chuck Hiller, playing at second base for the Giants in the '62 season, came up with some fabulous defensive plays. This ball game he saved with 2 out and 1 on in the 8th inning.
Here's Bob Skinner. Now Cepeda and Bailey have a conversation with Juan Marichal as Big Bob Skinner is up here. He has homered, good for 2 runs, on his bounced to the box on his last 2 times at bat in the 3rd and 6th. Always dangerous. He swings that big bat for you. The 1-0 delivery. Bounding ball is hit wide at first base. Cepeda can't get it. Hiller does. Throws to Marichal in time. A fine play by Chuck Hiller. And the side is retired.
Well, the very next day at Candlestick Park against the same Pittsburgh Pirates, Chuck Hiller shows he can go to the offense as well as the defense. Let's turn to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Chuck Hiller is the Giant batter now with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Haddix looks around at the infield. Here's the pitch to Chuck Hiller. Swung on, base hit to right field. Davenport rounding second and holds as Pagan scores. Chuck Hiller landing a drive into right field for his 3rd hit. The Giants on top 5-4.
Well, Chuck Hiller delivering against the left-hand pitcher, Harvey Haddix. Now a left-hand batter, Russ. You'll remember this. May 10th at St. Louis as Willie McCovey is batting.
Gibson checking with his catcher, Gene Oliver. Now he's up and they're ready. Throws 2-2. McCovey swings, crash, tell it, bye-bye, baby. And I mean tell it, bye-bye, baby. That one went clear over the right field roof and disappeared down the street on its way to a hamburger joint.
Well, that was on the way to a hamburger joint, as you said, Russ. The Giants were looking for bigger things than hamburger. They were looking for steaks. Let's take another look at the Cardinals against the Giants, this time at Candlestick Park. It's the 9th inning, and Juan Marichal and Chuck Hiller again team up to snuff out a Cardinal rally and give the Giants a...
The top of the order coming up, and Kurt Flood will be the batter. This is a fellow that has himself a home run and a single, so things are getting a bit tense here. 3 on, 1 out. Now the 0-2 windup by Marichal. Over the top with a fastball. It's hit up the middle. Hiller stops it, tags second, throws to first. A sensational play. A double play, and the ball game is over. Then at Candlestick Park, as those rowdy Giants once again flexed their muscles, it was against the New York Mets. And Willie Mays had singled to drive in a run off Roger Craig, the situation getting tense as Orlando Cepeda came up to the plate.
That'll bring on Orlando Cepeda. He is singled twice and flied out. Orlando waiting for Craig's first pitch. Mays at first, 2 men down. And Cepeda is hit by an inside pitch and runs all the way out towards the mound after being hit. Now everybody's gathered around out there. Willie Mays, Orlando Cepeda. We almost had a little scuffle as Cepeda ran straight towards the mound after being hit. Still had the bat in his hand. He and Craig exchanged unpleasantries, and now Cepeda is dragging 2 or 3 people with him. He's really after Craig. Manager Alvin Dark finally held on to him, and Cepeda really started to take off for Roger Craig. And Dark grabbed a hold of him, held him back. But
Good thing Alvin played football down at LSU.
Boy,
because
no kidding.
he really had the tackle put on Orlando Cepeda.
he had to tackle him pretty quick. Orlando really put his head down and started to go for Craig. Willie Mays probably in high sympathy with Orlando because Craig decked Mays twice. Not too sure if I were Mr. Craig if I'd want to say too much for Orlando. He'd let a pincher ahead of him.
And more of that same situation. Mays at second. Roger Craig had thrown back there twice to try to pick him off.
Shea bluffs now. Now a throw to second base, and Mays is back in. And now Chacon starts hitting Mays. Mays jumps on him, and Cepeda and Craig are at it. Cepeda and Craig, and Cepeda gets in a left hook. Boy, we've got a brawl at second base as Chacon started hitting Mays on top of the head as they were lying there. Mays picked Chacon up and threw him on the ground. Cepeda swung a left hook and almost decked Craig. We've got ball players all over there. Russ, I don't know what that was about. Mays slid into second, and Chacon just started hitting him on the head, and Mays picked Chacon up and threw him down on the ground. Cepeda came over and swung a beautiful left hook that nailed Roger Craig right on the button.
Lon, I've seen some good ones, but this is the best when they get squared off individually like that. It's the first time I've ever seen Mays throw a punch. And after Chacon hit him, Mays tagged him once and picked him up and bounced him around on the ground. Then Cepeda went for Craig and gave him as good a left hook as I have ever seen. And all in all, this one, of all I've ever seen, this was the best baseball brawl because there was no kidding around about this. There was no pushing, hauling, and tagging. They were really throwing uppercuts, and a lot of them were landing. And I don't think the Giants lost a single fracas.
Well, the Giants might not have been named world champions for their fighting, but nevertheless, they were a fighting ball club. And back at Philadelphia, 3 days later, on May 30th, manager Alvin Dark showed that he wasn't afraid to take chances. In the bottom of the 8th, he walked the potential winning run Tony Gonzalez to first base with a runner at third. Let's listen to the action as Juan Marichal pitches to Jack Davis with a count 1-2.
Juan Marichal throws to Jack Davis. Swing, a line drive to Pagan, a great catch. He just hit a bullet toward left center, and Pagan went about 6 feet high to come down with that ball. Boy, that one was ticketed for extra base hits, probably a 2-run double. But Pagan made the grab when the Siders retired.
Well, the great defensive save by Jose Pagan saved the ball game right there. The Giants went on to win it in the 12th inning 4-3 with Stu Miller relieving Marichal and getting credit for the victory. That was the first game of a doubleheader. It showed defense. The second game, the Giants went back to the offense again against Philadelphia as Tom Haller bats.
Davenport leads. Here's the pitch to Haller. A swing and a high fly to deep right center field. Far back is Callison. And tell it, 5-5, baby! Tommy Haller hits his 4th home run of the season. Clear down with the scoreboard in right center, just where the scoreboard juts out in right field, and it cleared the wall with plenty to spare. So the Giants lead it by a score of 4-0, and Mike McCormick will be up at the plate.
And Mike McCormick went on to win the ball game. Then the Giants invaded the Polo Grounds, their own home, for their first game on the 1st of June in 1962, a place that has seen a lot of fabulous hitting and playing. And let's see what Jimmy Davenport does in the 7th inning.
Keene and Mays singled. Cepeda struck out. A loose single to drive in a run. Haller walked. So the bases are loaded. 1 man down and a 2-strike count on Jimmy Davenport. Hunter taking a long look at the sign. Now the left-hander takes his stretch. Runners leading from every station there. The 2-strike pitch. Driven down the right field line. That's got a chance. And it's in for a home run. Tell it. Goodbye. Jimmy Davenport with a grand slammer just inside the right field foul pole into the upper deck.
Well, that was a big home run for Jimmy Davenport, but just a day later, another big one. The second game of a doubleheader at the Polo Grounds. Score tied in the 8th, 4-4. Stu Miller on first, Harvey Keene at the plate.
Keene waiting. The pitch to Harvey. Swung on, line drive foul to right field. Harvey was trying to take a shot at that right field corner. Miller standing close to first. Anderson throws. Keene swings. Here's a high fly to right field. It's got a chance. And tell it, bye-bye, baby! Harvey Keene gets his 2nd home run of the season into the upper deck of the right field stands and puts the Giants ahead 6-4. Then late in June, Lonas Edgar Bailey got himself into a fine streak of hitting home runs, this one very dramatic, with Cincinnati leading and his old pal Joey J., a former battery mate, on the mound. Bases loaded, Ed Bailey at bat.
Bailey batting for Sanford here in the 7th. Davenport doubled. Pagan singled him to third. Haller walked to load him up. 1-0 count on Ed Bailey. Outfield deep and around to the right. The 1-0 pitch. A long drive hit to right field. That one's going back. A grand slam for Ed Bailey.
Ed followed his grand slam with a couple more big home runs for the San Francisco Giants. Let's see if he can get 4 in 1 week on June the 30th against Art Mahaffey and the Phils. So here is Lonas Edgar Bailey to swing the bat against the Philadelphia Phils. He is grounded out in his only previous attempt. Cepeda leads at first. Mahaffey comes set, throws. Bailey hits a long high drive to deep right field. Callison goes back and tell it, bye-bye, baby!
Well, a dramatic home run by Ed Bailey as he was really in his streak.